What's up, everyone? Eric Allen, founder of Planiversity, back with you again. So you might have been wondering, how do I actually plan a trip with Planiversity? Now, obviously, you could just take the route of going into the website and signing in, create an account, and actually test it out for yourself. But if you want just a little preliminary view of how the thing actually works, I'm happy to walk you through that today. But first, the intro. And we are back now, ready to answer the question of how easy is it to actually plan a trip on Planiversity. And you're going to see, I'm going to walk through it start to finish. We're just going to create a simulated trip. It's going to be easy. Just going to say we're flying from, I'm even going to give you, okay, I'm flying from my nearest large airport, which is Philadelphia, and I'm going to be going to, we'll say London in this case. We could be going to Rome. We could be going anywhere. The good thing about Planiversity is there is no limitation. I've been asked many times, is it just continental? Is it international? And I really never know how to answer that, because the answer I would think would just be as simple, no, it's international. Use it to travel wherever. But that is absolutely the answer. And I don't know, I guess it kind of confuses me because it's a travel site. I didn't know that there would actually be travel sites out there that limit you on continental use versus international. But no, when you're planning with Planiversity, you can plan to go to South Africa, you can plan to go to China, you can plan to go to Indiana. It doesn't really matter. You can plan to go anywhere, and it's simple to use. So the one thing I will explain about Planiversity is it's very linear, right? And that is one of the easiest ways to learn, is to use a linear process. So when you're walking through this, you're going to see that the site just guides you through the process step by step, makes it very easy to use, very easy to understand, very easy to get from start to finish, okay? So let's go ahead and go through it. Now I'm at the landing page. This is exactly where you would arrive if you would type in planiversity.com. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in now. Look at that, okay. Step one, we'll get that out of the way. Now, I do apologize if it seems a little laggy. That's usually what happens when you're broadcasting or when you're streaming these things and recording. It just kind of slows down. It's eating up a lot of bandwidth. It's understandable, but you can see right now I'm on my dashboard, and this is what your dashboard will look like when you actually sign in. Now you can see up here I have an incomplete trip plan. So here I have a couple of trips already planned out. Here I have an incomplete trip plan. That just means I came in, I started using it, and then I just stopped the process. And when you stop the process, what we do is we auto save your progress. So that way you don't have to worry about getting up to a certain point and then all of a sudden the battery on your laptop dies, or you have to get going, so you got to stop right where you are. No, we actually just save your progress. So if you get 3/4 of the way through, if you get 90% of the way through, if you get 10% of the way through, we are saving that progress for you so that you don't waste your time. That's what we're all about, right? Planiversity, it's saving time. So let's get into it. I'm on the dashboard. That was step one. Step two, start a new plan. That's how I'm going to start this new plan. Now, everything you'll see about the service, it's super simple. It walks you right through the process. Here you can see it's going to give me the options of taking the trip or event. I'm just going to go ahead and create a trip. I said I'm going to do it by plane. And so far, now you'll recognize so far, the system is asking me everything it needs, right? It's asking me the question. So it's not confusing by any means. But I'm going to say I'm going to take a round trip. And again, we're going to use Philadelphia as our jumping off point, and we're going to use London. Sorry, let me back this up here. London Heathrow. Now it should auto-populate for you. And if you need a confirmation of that routing, you can see that right there when you minimize this block. But I'll go ahead and hit next. Departure, let's just say we're going to leave on June 5th. We're going to arrive on June 6th since it's a red-eye flight. Doesn't really matter what time, but I'm going to put in 1700. I could have put in 5 p.m. I'm military, so it's used to, or I'm used to typing a certain way, a 24-hour clock. But we'll say we're going to arrive at 06 in the morning the next day, and I'm coming back, let's see, from the 6th, and I want to come back around, we'll just say the 12th. Pretty short trip, all right? I'm going to leave at 7:30 a.m. out of London, and I'm going to arrive back on that same day. So let's go ahead and select June 12th, and I'm going to arrive back at 3:15 p.m. should be fine, right? Once you get through with that, just select next. If I want to add my hotel details, I can say yes. Let's just say we're going to stay, I don't need to book a room. And, let's just say we're going to stay at wherever the Hilton is. Check-in date is going to be June 6th, and we're going to stay until, what do we say, the 12th. And let's just see if we can find this. So Hilton, London. There you go. You get a couple of options right there. But let's just say we're going to stay in the Metropole. And we go ahead, and I want to add car rental details. So yes, I want to add car rental details. No, I don't need to book. Car rental agency we'll say is Hertz. And that's going to be located at the airport. But I'm going to be picking this up on June 6th. And I'm going to be dropping this back off on June 12th. Come in here. And that's going to be at London Heathrow. So that I know that. And now I need driving direction. So I do want to add a drive or train portion. Yes. Now obviously if I was taking the train into the city center, I would just select add train portion. For driving portion, I just select this, London Heathrow. And now I'm going to Hilton, London Metropole. And let's just see that it actually confirmed that. So I just go ahead and back out here. Look at that. Beautiful. Everything is looking good. So I've got myself flying into the airport, and now I'm driving out of the airport, and I'm going to my hotel. I suppose I could zoom in there. There it is, London Metropole. So let's go ahead and next. I don't need anything else. Everything is looking good. I confirm. I continue. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start building a little bit of a schedule here. So let's go ahead and just add meeting with Susan. And what day do we want to do that on? We want to meet with Susan probably the day after we get there. So we'll say the 7th at 9 a.m. I go ahead and save that event. And now I'm going to say coffee with Steven. And let's go ahead and say that's going to be on the 8th. And we're going to make that 11 a.m. Save that. Let's just add one more. What's a good one? We'll just put in meet for tea. We are going to the UK, so let's just meet for tea. We're going to do that on the 9th, and I'll do that at 8 in the morning. Nice early tea. You know what? Actually, never mind. I'll do that at 3 p.m. I'm going to save my event. So now, tea in the afternoon sounds more like the right thing to do. Once I get finished with this, just finish next step. Now I'm going to get into my notes. Don't forget the passport card. That's note number 1. Go ahead and save that note. Make sure to bring a rain. There we go. That's note 2. And there we go. Now I got a couple notes in there. Finish next step. Moving on to the resource section, and once I get to the resource section, I can see down here. So again, if any part of the service seems confusing in any way, we always have an explainer video. So if I was confused in any way, I could just click on that. I get a very short 43-second long explainer video, but since I know how to use it, I'm gonna go ahead and just use it how I know it. So I created a 2-mile wide circle around the resource area, or around my destination. Now I want to know where, well, let's just say police stations, hospitals. I'll give myself pharmacies, and you know what? I want to know where the museums are while I'm at it. So let's go ahead and we zoom in there. Cool. I want the weather while I'm there. Let's see if we can find our embassy here. You know, it doesn't really matter. We can just select anything. I could just go through this long list. But let's just say I'm going to use the Embassy of Sweden. Directions, since I did say I was going to be driving, so let's go ahead, and I see that there's a couple of route options for me, and let's see, 42 minutes, 41 minutes, 42 minutes. Looks like it's mostly highway on this guy, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. I can kind of see that confirmation right there. Once I'm done with this, I come down, finish next step. Now I've got that information. Now, once I want to make some plans, let's just say we said we're gonna get coffee with Susan, so let's go ahead and people to see. Now let's go ahead and just find that cafe that we're gonna get coffee at. You know what? Let's just go with the Cow. I'm not sure the Cow is the right place to go, but let's go with the Cow right now. That looks fine to me. I'm going to go ahead and select that. I see the icon drops down there. Let's just say we're going to go with a museum tour while we're in London. That sounds fun. Let's just go ahead and there's a British Museum. I'm going to use that one. Oh, all right, so this is a thing to do. We'll select that British Museum again. What's going on here? I guess I could probably zoom in here just to make it a little bit easier there. Did we get the British Museum? We did. Okay, add that. So if you find that for some reason the address is off, like right here, I could see that I might have actually clicked on the wrong thing. That's not a, it's not a big deal. All I have to do is go in here to edit. You'll see the icon starts bouncing again. If you feel like you're zoomed out too far and you didn't click on the right spot, you just simply zoom in, click on it again, it'll update that, and then you just select update and you're good to go. And you know what, I think I'm good. I'm just going to add only those 2 locations. Of course, there is another category. There's people to see, things to do, and places to eat. You know what, I'll actually put on places to eat too. How about that? So let's get a lunch date, and we got a place to eat. And where are we going to go to get our lunch date? Well, let's zoom in and find a nice place to meet up. Let's say the Happy Lamb Hot Pot. That sounds delicious. All right, add that. I can see that my icons are on the map. Everything is looking good. I've got my location. I know where that is in relation to those locations. So I go ahead, finish next step. And now I'm in the document section. So we're just going to go ahead and, well, you know what? I could upload my documents. I'm not even going to go through that right now, but it's pretty simple. As soon as you click on this, you'll be able to pull everything up. So I could just go to desktop, go to my example docs, and I'll just throw in a passport just so we can see how that works. But that's all it is. Just go down through the categories. If it's an additional document, you can do the same thing. Example docs, I can put in something like test doc D and E, just so you can see that. And if I want to put a copy of my travel itinerary, hotel, driver's license, those are all there. Go ahead and finish next step. And now we're at the connect. So if I am a business suite holder, so because I have the business suite, I can connect this plan to multiple people. I don't have any need to do that right now, so I'm just going to skip this section. If you're an individual user, you will not have that function. So I come back here, I can see already I've got State Department notifications. I'm going to give my trip a name, so I'm going to say London bound. Put that on there. Now let's go ahead and review it. Now I can see all that information I put in, make sure nothing's misspelled, make sure nothing's in there that I don't want, no times are wrong. Cool, everything looks good. I come over here, I want to change the cover now. I don't have to. There's obviously a default cover right there. But even if I don't want that and I want to change it and kind of personalize it, just come up here. I can either upload my own image, or I can just do a keyword search of London and actually use one of the images provided to me by our Unsplash API, which is fantastic. And well, you know what, this looks kind of catchy right here, so I'm just going to use that one. That looks good. And this is what your packet will look like. So I just go ahead, save and close that, and let's just go ahead and proceed to PDF. So you see it's going to take a few minutes. Now, what's actually going to take the longest time is I've actually created a ring around my destination, and I said I want this resource, this resource, this resource. So if you remember, I wanted hospitals, police stations, pharmacies, and then what I think I said museums. And now the information is being generated. It's got to pull, Planiversity's got to pull that information off the web, and now it's got to organize it. So if you ever find that you put in a lot of information, it may take a few minutes to actually organize all of that information, all right? Now, if I don't see it on here, don't panic, obviously, because we are back to the dashboard. All I do is scroll down, right? It's in order. So you can see I've got something on May 17th, June 1st, and now you can see June 5th. So there's my packet, there's my cover. I can see it's also right here on the calendar. And if I want to download that, of course, I can just go ahead, click download. And we may see the little icon pop up down here and say that it's already downloading. We may not. Oh, there it is. It's just taking a few extra seconds because, again, we are streaming and that's slowing it down. But as you can see, I've just created a plan. Yes, I kept it simple. I could have made it a little bit more elaborate. I could have added more details, and we are going to continue to give more functionality as time goes on. But if I just wanted to create a basic plan, just this is what you're going to give me. I want the weather. I want these resources. I want embassy. I want all this information. That's what it's going to give me. And now I can see right here, you scroll down through, you've got literally all this information. All right, starting with your itinerary section, State Department, there's my scheduled information. Here's my trip notes. I said I want plans, passport. I did throw in a test document in there so you could see that there's example documents. Weather, maps, it's giving me a confirmation of where I'm going, detailed route destination, driving directions along with written driving directions. I did say that I wanted an embassy location, right? So this is telling me where the embassy is. And then, of course, there's resources, right? I said I wanted hospitals, and look how far away all those are. I have the addresses, I have the names. That's simple, right? And of course, I got a few pages of resources, and like I was telling you. So if you decide to say, I want to draw a 5-mile ring around my hotel or my Airbnb or wherever I'm staying, and I want to know where all the police stations are, or the pharmacies or the ATMs within 5 miles, and I'm staying in New York City, it's going to be a lot of information. I don't know if you would want to use that level of information. So you have to be careful about that because it will actually provide you that much information, which means that you could already take a 27-page packet, 28-page packet, and turn that into like a 45-page packet just because it's listing out all these places, right? You can see that there's just names upon names of all these resources, but at least you have your options. You know where all the locations are. All right, and that is it. That is how to use Planiversity to plan a trip. Believe me, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get easier. And soon we're going to have functionality where you can actually connect to a live agent, connect to a live planner, get the assistance from them. It's going to be fantastic. This week we're working on tweaking our resource section so you can actually see the improvements come in pretty soon on that. Again, it's only going to get better. I hope this helped. Thank you very much, and safe travels.